Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a video on the Lowsy channel. And before we get into today's video, please can you remember to like, subscribe, comment, turn the notification bell on, and without further ado, let's get into the video. So, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, feels like it's been a long time. How are we doing? As you know, my name is Lowsy. Well, it's not actually, it's Kieran, but we had to react to my Game Week 2 Premier League predictions, but we are also here to predict Game Week number 3. So a bit of a 2-in-1 for you. If you've missed Game Week predictions 1 and 2, if you press the little I button that's in the corner up there, that will take you directly to last week's video, and so you don't get any spoilers. But without further ado, what we're going to do is get the first part, the first segment of this video sorted out, and it's just reacting to the point system, because we've got a point system. So if I get a wrong score, it goes to 4 points to the viewer. If I get a correct score, it's 3 points to me. So if I said Newcastle were going to draw 1-1 with Bournemouth last week, I would have got 3 points. And if I just get the prediction right, I get 1 point. So if I said Man U were going to win 3-0, but they won 3-2, I would get 1 point. But using Man U is probably a bad example because they're not going to win a game of football. But let's start with game number 1, and it was Brighton versus Manchester United. Now, I knew from day dot when I saw this fixture Brighton were winning that game. I knew it for a fact. But did I predict it right? I said Brighton would win 3-1. Brighton won 2-1 thanks to a 94th minute João Pedro header. Awful defending from Man United. Brilliant goal by Brighton, and also a brilliant performance by Brighton, who's really impressing under Hertzler. He's a young manager and he's doing a fantastic job. Of course, there's only 2 games in going in the 3rd week, but that is 1 point to me already. Thank you very much, boss man. And before, if you didn't watch the videos and you just want to start watching from game week number 1, the point system was I've got 11 points, you have 8 points. And if the viewers win, at the end of game week 38, you'll get a prize by the end of it, 1 lucky viewer. So yeah, next game week, next game week, fucking hell, Kieran. Next game was Crystal Palace versus West Ham. I thought this was going to be a tough game, and it was a well contested game, and then West Ham just turned it on. I predicted a 2-2 draw, and I believe it finished 2-0 to to West Ham. So I didn't get that one right, so that is 4 points to the viewer. Going into the next game, it was Fulham versus Leicester. Do you know what it is? And I'm really, really disappointed with myself. On the video, as you would have seen, I said it would be 2-1 to Fulham. Then I changed it, and I was like, I don't think Fulham have got enough firepower. 2-0 Fulham. I don't think Leicester have enough firepower. 2-0 Fulham. And then it's 2-1 Fulham. So I get 1 point for it. Should have been 3. Dropped 2 points. And that 2 points is quite significant. But yeah, moving on, I've got a point and it's in the bag, as I said. This week it's 4-2 with the viewers, as it stands. Next, we went to Manchester City versus Ipswich. The real score was 4-1 to Manchester City, with Sammy Szmodic scoring his first ever Premier League goal. But I predicted 3-0 Man City, so yes, I get 1 point. However, I didn't get the score right, so I don't get the 3, but it's okay, I can live with that. Going into the next game, it was Southampton versus Forest, and for some stupid reason, I put Southampton to beat Nottingham Forest, who have the likes of Anthony Elanga, Morgan Gibbs-White, Callum Hudson-Odoi, probably going to sign Santiago Gimenez, but they had Chris Wood up front, who's a decent player, Elliot Anderson, St Gray, who started the season on fire, and Nottingham Forest won, Southampton didn't, so yeah, 4 points to the viewers, well done. Next, it was Everton versus Spurs at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. At this point, I was thinking, can't go much worse for Everton. You can't play much worse. You got spanked at home 3-0 by Brighton. Maybe see a reaction. I said it would be 2-0 Spurs. Double it and pass it to the next person. It finished 4-0 to Spurs. So yeah, Everton just ain't kicked on yet, which ain't good. So that is 1 point for me though, so I'll take it. Next, we move on to Arsenal versus Aston Villa. Of course, Arsenal won the game at Villa Park 2-0, and a great game, by the way. I did watch it. There was a 5:30 kick-off. I predicted 2-1 Arsenal, so I was just, again, 1 goal off. 1 goal. I get a point, though, and I think that's a good one, because I think from watching other people's predictions, a lot of people predicted Aston Villa to win. I just knew Arsenal were going to win. Next, we move on to my team. Newcastle United went to the Vitality Stadium to play Bournemouth in a game I knew was going to be a tough game. Bournemouth have a top manager. They got some great players like Semenyo, who I've been saying Newcastle should maybe try and have a sniff around, because I guarantee if we put a few bids and if we paid the right price, he would definitely come. And they've got a great manager, as I said, and we always struggle going down to the Vitality Stadium. I predicted it would be a 2-2 draw, and it was 1-1. I always back my team, so I'll never put what to lose. You'll see on the predictions, I'll never put what to lose, unless we just magically start doing shit like we did back in the Mike Ashley, Steve Bruce days, which I touch wood, it doesn't happen. But I put 2-2, get a point. At the end of the day, I think that's a good result to get. I think that's always a tricky one to predict at your games like Newcastle Bournemouth, because Newcastle are a top team but struggled away last year. So I think I've done well to get that point, because Bournemouth, as you saw, controversy in the last minute, Bournemouth's goal. Do I think it should have stood? Yes, if I'm being honest with you, I am an honest person. As yes, I'm a Newcastle fan, and if Newcastle scored that in the last minute and we got it choked off, I would be fuming. So I do feel for Bournemouth there, because I would be raging. So Bournemouth should have won the game 2-1, but obviously I'm happy and I'm not going to complain about it. So we take the point. Newcastle take the point. I take the point. Moving on to Wolves versus Chelsea. This dickhead called Kieran Lowes, aka Lowesy, the founder of this channel, put Wolves to beat Chelsea 2-1, and it finished fucking 6-2 to Chelsea at Wolverhampton at the Molineux. People think I've got an agenda against Chelsea. I don't have an agenda against Chelsea. I just have an agenda against the owners and the way they do the business. Because I love seeing youth players come through. I love seeing academy players come through. I think it's one of the most beautiful thing about football. But fair play, Chelsea. They actually played pretty well. I think Wolves did all right. Wolves has made a lot of mistakes that I think Gary O'Neill needs to work on. But I do feel for Gary O'Neill. He always seems to get his players nabbed from him, and Wolves haven't invested the money back in. Of course, we lost captain Kilman, who's a fantastic defender. So I think I think you can tell they're missing that Max Kilman. But yeah, I feel I get 4 points on that. And then Brentford versus Liverpool. It ended 2-0 to Liverpool. I predicted 4-2 Liverpool. I thought it was going to be a thriller. I get 1 point for that, so that means I was winning, but now it's 18 points to me, 20 points to the viewer. So I'm that close. I'm not out of it yet. It's 2 points. So if I get a few correct scores next week, I should be alright. But ladies and gentlemen, let's move on to the predictions. So then, going on to the predictions. First game is a 12:30 kickoff at the Emirates. It is Arsenal versus Brighton and Hove Albion. I think a lot of people think this will be a tough game to predict, but I'm going to say Arsenal 2, Brighton 0. I think that's a solid prediction. Moving on to the next game, Nottingham Forest versus Wolverhampton Wanderers. 2-1 to Nottingham. 2-1 to Nottingham. The new No Derby. That's what I want to call it. The new No Derby. 2-1 Forest, yeah. 2-1 Forest, definitely locking it in. Next, we'll go to the King Power. It's Leicester City versus Aston Villa. 2-0 Villa. I'll go 2-0 Villa. I love Leicester, but I don't see them winning. Next, we go back to Portman Road. It's Ipswich Town versus Fulham. I'm going to back Ipswich on this. I'm going to say 3-1 Ipswich. I think that's a good prediction. I think easily could drop 4 points there, but I'm going for it. One of the promoted teams are winning this week, I'm telling you. Next, we're going to Brentford versus Southampton. I think this will be a really good game, the way both teams play, the way both teams will match up. But for me, it's going to be a Brentford 3. Both teams don't really score a lot. I'm going to say 2-0 Brentford. I don't think Southampton will score. Yet to score a goal in the Premier League, aren't they? Only 2 games in, but yeah, 2-0 Brentford. Next, we've got Everton versus Bournemouth. I'm going to say 2-1 Everton. I think Everton will get a point this week. 3 points this week even. So yeah, 2-1 Everton. Next, we're going to West Ham versus Manchester City. Manchester City are my last man standing team this week. It works, so they better fucking win. No, my look, they probably won't, but I'm going to say Manchester City 2, West Ham 1. Chelsea vs Crystal Palace. I think this will be a good game, actually. I think the way Chelsea are playing, I've got to back them after last week. I'm going to say Chelsea 3, Crystal Palace 1. Next, we'll go to Newcastle versus Tottenham. I'm going to say Newcastle United 2, Tottenham 2. I think we'll draw again. And then next we go to, ooh, I didn't even know these were playing this week. Manchester United versus Liverpool. Arnie Slot. He's gonna fucking win. I'm gonna say Liverpool will win this game 3-0. That's what I'm gonna say. So, that is all the predictions for game week number 3. If you enjoyed the video, please remember to like, subscribe and comment. It makes a massive, massive contribution to my channel. So thank you so much for the support. I do appreciate it. But I'm going to leave it on that note. The famous last words that I always say, and you're probably sick of by now. I will see you in the next one. As Spencer FC would say, don't go changing.